High Observer Sixtol's antenna twitched as he watched the holographic display. His four eyes blinked in sequence as he processed what he was seeing. The small blue planet's inhabitants were at it again, but this time they had taken their conflicts to the stars. Most fascinating, he mumbled, his crystalline voice echoing in the observation chamber. Record everything. The year was 2157, and humanity had just begun its first real space war. The Galactic Council's hidden observation post on Phobos, Mars' larger moon, gave them the perfect view of the unfolding events. Commander Lisa Mitchell stood on the bridge of the Earth Defense Force vessel Starlight, her hands clasped behind her back as she studied the tactical display. Red dots representing the outer colony ships moved through the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. Their rebellion had lasted 3 months now, and Earth Command had finally had enough. "Status report," she called out, her voice steady despite the tension in the air. Lieutenant Paul Baker responded from his station. 5 enemy vessels detected, Commander. They're using the asteroids for cover, typical guerrilla tactics. Lisa nodded, a small smile playing on her lips. The rebels thought they were clever, hiding among the rocks, but they hadn't counted on the new sensors Earth Command had developed. "Deploy the marker drones," she ordered. "Let's light up those shadows." The drones shot out from the Starlight's launch tubes, small and quick, carrying the latest in quantum detection technology. Earth scientists had made an unexpected breakthrough. They could now detect the minute gravitational disturbances caused by ships trying to hide behind larger objects. In their observation post, Sixtol and his team watched with growing interest. "Note the innovative use of gravitational detection," he dictated to his assistant, Kriva. "The humans have developed this technology centuries ahead of our projected timeline." The rebel ships, realizing they had been detected, broke formation. Their leader, a man named Eric Rogers, had been a decorated Earth Force captain before joining the rebellion. He knew standard Earth tactics, but he had forgotten one crucial thing about his former employers. They adapted quickly. Lisa's voice rang out clear and confident. "All ships, execute pattern Delta 7. The Earth Defense Fleet split apart in a manner that would have seemed chaotic to any observer, but it was anything but random. They had practiced this maneuver countless times in simulation. "Remarkable," Sixtol whispered. "They're using the asteroid's gravitational fields to alter their trajectories. The fuel efficiency alone is." The Earth ships swept through the asteroid field like a school of fish, each vessel using the rock's gravity to slingshot themselves in different directions. The rebel ships found themselves surrounded before they could react. "This is Commander Lisa Mitchell of the Earth Defense Force," her voice transmitted on all frequencies. "Your positions are marked, and you are surrounded. Power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded." Eric Rogers' voice crackled back. "You know what we're fighting for, Lisa. The colonies deserve their independence. And they can have it," Lisa responded, her voice firm but not unkind. "Through proper channels and negotiation, not by attacking civilian transport ships." In the observation post, Kriva turned to her superior. "Should we add this to the social development records as well?" "Indeed," Sixtol replied. "Note how they maintain dialogue even in conflict. Most species we've observed simply destroy their opponents at this stage of development." The rebel ships attempted one last desperate maneuver. They fired their engines at full power, trying to scatter in different directions. But Lisa had anticipated this too. "All ships, deploy capture nets," she commanded. The new technology, a web of energy fields that could disable a ship's engines without destroying the vessel, shot out from the Earth Fleet's ships. "Superior targeting systems," Sixtol noted. "They're calculating trajectories in 3-dimensional space while accounting for multiple gravitational fields. The computational power required." One by one, the rebel ships were caught. Their engines sputtered and died as the energy nets disrupted their power systems. In less than an hour, the entire rebel fleet had been captured, with no lives lost on either side. Lisa stood from her command chair and stretched. "Begin boarding procedures. I want those crews treated well. They're still our people, just misguided. The Galactic Council observers watched as the Earth ships efficiently processed the captured vessels. Teams of specialists in zero-gravity suits moved between ships, their movements precise and practiced. Add a special note to the report, Zixtel said. Humans show remarkable adaptation to zero-gravity operations. Their natural balance issues from evolving on a high-gravity world seem to have driven them to develop superior spatial awareness when unbound by gravity. The Earth fleet began their journey back to Mars orbit, towing the captured ships. Lisa sat in her ready room, writing her report to Earth Command. The screen in front of her showed the faces of the captured rebel leaders, all of them former Earth Force officers. We need to address the underlying issues, she wrote. While the rebellion has been contained, the colonists' concerns about resource distribution and representation are valid. I recommend a committee be formed to review colonial policies. Meanwhile, in their hidden post, the Galactic Council observation team compiled their own reports. Zixtal's final notes for the day read, "Humanity continues to surpass our expectations. In just 50 years of space travel, they have not only adapted to combat in zero gravity, but have developed entirely new strategies that even our military analysts had not considered. Most notably, they show a remarkable ability to balance technological advancement with diplomatic consideration." He added a personal observation. "If they continue at this pace, we may need to revise our timeline for first contact. These humans might be ready sooner than we thought." As the Earth ships disappeared into the red horizon of Mars, Kriva asked, "Should we inform the Council about their rate of advancement?" Zixtal's antenna twitched again, a sign of deep thought among his species. "Yes," he finally said, "but recommend continued observation only. I want to see what else they can do." The observation post grew quiet as the team prepared for their next shift. Outside, Mars cast its red glow over Phobos, and somewhere in the distance, humanity's ships continued their patrol, unaware they were being watched by beings far more advanced than themselves. Lisa Mitchell sat in her quarters later that night, looking out at the stars. She couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning. Humanity had taken its first steps into space warfare, but they had done it their way, with precision, innovation, and wherever possible, mercy. Little did she know, her actions that day had earned humanity its first positive marks in the Galactic Council's evaluation records. The species that had started with simple wooden tools and stone weapons had shown they could wage war in the cosmos without losing their humanity. As Earth's first space war drew to a close, the Galactic Council's hidden observers continued their vigilant watch, eager to see what these remarkable beings would do next. The humans had passed their first test, but many more challenges lay ahead in the vast expanse of space. 3 years had passed since the first space battles near Mars. High Observer Zixtal stood in his upgraded observation post, now hidden within Saturn's rings. His attention was fixed on a peculiar human vessel that moved unlike anything he had seen before. The experimental warship Starcross, his assistant Kriva noted, under the command of Captain Richard Cooper. The ship in question wasn't particularly large by human standards, but its movement patterns defied conventional physics. It seemed to predict where enemy weapons would fire before they actually did. Captain Richard Cooper sat in his command chair, his dark eyes focused on the holographic display floating before him. "Status of the quantum targeting system?" he asked. Lieutenant Amy Peterson, his weapons specialist, replied from her station. "System is running at 98% efficiency, Captain. The predictive algorithms are learning with each simulation." The Starcross was running combat drills against automated drones in Saturn's outer rings. These weren't simple target practice sessions. They were testing humanity's newest breakthrough in space warfare. "Launch Combat Sequence Delta," Richard ordered, his voice calm but eager. "Let's see how the system handles multiple threats." Zixtal's crystalline eyes widened as he watched 12 combat drones emerge from their hiding spots in the ice rings. Each drone was programmed with a different alien combat pattern, that Earth had theorized might exist. Fascinating, he mumbled. They're not just preparing for known threats, they're preparing for possible ones. The drones attacked simultaneously, each using a different approach. Some moved in straight attack patterns, others used erratic movements, and a few even attempted to use Saturn's gravitational field to curve their weapon trajectories. Amy's fingers danced across her console as the quantum targeting system came fully online. QTS is tracking all targets, Captain. Permission to engage. Granted, Richard nodded. Show me what this ship can really do. What happened next made even the experienced Galactic Council observers lean forward in surprise. The Starcross didn't just react to the attacks. It moved before they happened. The quantum targeting system had evolved beyond simple prediction into something entirely new. It's not possible, Kriva whispered. They've weaponized quantum entanglement. They're seeing probability streams in real time. The Starcross weaved through the incoming fire as if it were performing a carefully choreographed dance. Each movement was precise, each counterattack perfectly timed. The quantum targeting system didn't just track where things were, it calculated where everything could be. Multiple targets locked, Amy reported, her voice steady despite her excitement. Firing solution ready. Richard allowed himself a small smile. Execute. The Starcross's weapons fired in what appeared to be random directions, but seconds later, each drone flew into the paths of the shots. 8 were disabled instantly. They're not aiming at where targets are, Zixtal realized, his antenna vibrating with excitement. They're aiming at where probability says they must be. The remaining 4 drones attempted to adapt, changing their patterns randomly. But the quantum targeting system had already calculated these possibilities. The Starcross's final volley caught them all. Combat simulation complete, Amy announced. All targets neutralized. Time to completion, 47 seconds. Richard stood from his chair and walked to the main viewport. Saturn's rings stretched out before them, glittering in the distant sunlight. Send the data back to Earth Command. They'll want to know the QTs exceeded expectations. In their observation post, Zixtal was hurriedly recording his findings. Note for the Council. Human military technology has taken an unprecedented leap. They've managed to harness quantum mechanics for combat applications centuries before our models predicted possible. Should we be concerned? Kriva asked, her own antenna twitching nervously. Zixtal considered the question carefully. Not concerned, he finally said. Impressed. They've developed this technology not to destroy, but to minimize combat damage. Their shots disabled the targets without destroying them. Back on the Starcross, Amy approached her captain with a data pad. Sir, I've been analyzing the combat data. There's something interesting in the quantum feedback loops. Richard took the pad, his eyes scanning the complex equations. The system isn't just predicting enemy movements, he realized. It's learning from them. Each engagement makes it more efficient. Exactly, Amy nodded. It's like the ship is developing combat intuition. The implications weren't lost on either of them. Humanity had created something that went beyond simple combat computers. They had developed a system that could learn and adapt in real time. Zixtal watched as the Starcross began another series of tests. Add to the report, humans continue to demonstrate remarkable creativity in solving military challenges. While other species focused on building bigger weapons, they focused on building smarter ones. The next few hours showed just how smart their weapons had become. The Starcross ran through increasingly complex battle scenarios, each time performing better than the last. The quantum targeting system learned from every engagement, developing new strategies that even its creators hadn't anticipated. Final test, Richard announced. Full combat simulation against theoretical Class 7 space warfare tactics. Class 7 was humanity's best guess at how an advanced alien civilization might fight. They had no way of knowing how accurate their theories were, but the Galactic Council observers watched with growing amazement as the humans came remarkably close to actual advanced combat patterns. The Starcross moved through the final simulation with graceful efficiency. Its quantum targeting system had evolved enough to handle even these advanced scenarios. When the last test target was disabled, a small cheer went up from the crew. "Test series complete," Amy reported, unable to keep the pride from her voice. "All objectives exceeded." Richard nodded, allowing his crew a moment to celebrate. "Send the full data package to Earth Command. Let them know the Starcross is ready for active duty." In their hidden post, Zixtal finished his day's observations with a final note. "The humans have done it again. They've taken a theoretical concept and turned it into a practical application faster than any species we've observed. Their quantum targeting system represents a leap forward in space combat technology that we must carefully consider." "Their rate of advancement is increasing," Kriva noted. "Yes," Zixtal agreed, "and I suspect this is just the beginning. Keep watching that ship. I want to know what other surprises Captain Cooper and his crew have in store for us." As the Starcross made its way back to Earth, its crew unaware of their alien observers, humanity had taken another major step in their evolution as a spacefaring species. The quantum targeting system would soon become standard on all Earth vessels, changing the nature of space combat forever. Richard Cooper stood at his viewport one last time, watching Saturn's rings shimmer in the starlight. He couldn't shake the feeling that they were preparing for something bigger than simple space pirates or colonial rebels. Somewhere out there in the vast darkness of space, humanity would find other civilizations, and thanks to innovations like the Starcross, they would be ready. Little did he know, those civilizations were already watching, and they were becoming more impressed with each passing day. The year was 2170, and humanity had spread further into the solar system than ever before. High Observer Zixtal had relocated his observation post to the Kuiper Belt to better watch humanity's expanding influence. His team had grown from 2 to 20, each member specialized in different aspects of human development. "Admiral Sandra Hayes is launching the new fleet today," Kriva announced, her antenna glowing with excitement. "The humans are calling it the Ghost Fleet." Admiral Hayes stood on the bridge of her flagship, the Shadow Dancer. At 52 years old, she had seen humanity's space forces grow from simple ships to the advanced vessels that now filled her view screen. 30 ships, each equipped with the latest stealth technology, waited for her command. "All ships report ready, Admiral," said her communications officer, John Martinez. The diplomatic officer had insisted on being present for this historic launch. "The colonial defense networks are standing by." Sandra nodded, her gray eyes reflecting the starlight. "Begin Phase 1 of Operation Starlight. Let's show everyone what these ships can do." The Ghost Fleet's first test would be to sneak past Earth's most advanced detection systems. If they could fool their own sensors, they could fool anyone's. In their observation post, Zixtal's team watched with growing interest. "Their stealth technology has taken an unexpected direction," he noted. "Instead of trying to block detection, they're actively bending light and radiation around their ships." The Ghost Fleet moved out in perfect formation, then seemed to fade away like morning mist. Earth's defense stations immediately lost track of them. Even the Galactic Council's advanced sensors had trouble keeping up. "Remarkable," Zixtal whispered. "They're not just invisible. They're not even there in conventional space." Sandra smiled as the reports came in. Her ships had achieved perfect stealth. The new quantum phase technology allowed them to exist partially out of normal space-time, making them nearly impossible to detect. "All ships proceed to Phase 2, she ordered. "Begin colonial defense grid integration." The Ghost Fleet split up, each ship heading to a different human colony. From Mars to Europa, from Titan to the asteroid settlements, humanity had spread far and wide. Each colony needed protection, and the Ghost Fleet would provide it. John Martinez watched the tactical display with pride. "The colonial representatives are already sending their thanks, Admiral. This will change everything for them." In their hidden post, Kriva turned to her superior. They're creating a defensive network unlike anything we've seen before. Each ship can cover an entire sector alone. Yes, Zixtal agreed. And notice how they're positioning them. They're not just defending against external threats. They're ensuring their own colonies can't fight each other again. The Ghost Fleet ships took up their positions, invisible guardians watching over humanity's expanding civilization. But they weren't just warships. Each vessel carried a full diplomatic team, ready to solve problems before they turned into conflicts. Sandra walked to her ready room, where a message from Earth Command waited. "The AI battle coordination systems are online," she read aloud. "All ships are now linked through quantum entanglement." This was the true power of the Ghost Fleet. Not only could the ships hide from any known detection method, but they could also communicate and coordinate instantly across vast distances. The AI systems allowed them to respond to threats faster than any human could. "Admiral," John called from the bridge, "we're picking up unusual readings from the Kuiper Belt. Some kind of energy signature we've never seen before." Sandra's heart jumped. Could this be first contact? The Ghost Fleet had been built not just to protect human colonies, but to prepare for the day humanity met other civilizations. In their observation post, alarms started blaring. "They've detected our energy emissions," Kriva reported, her antenna pulsing with worry. Zixtal remained calm. "No need for concern. Their technology is impressive, but they're not ready to find us yet. Adjust our phase variance." The energy signature disappeared from the Ghost Fleet's sensors. Sandra made a note to have their detection systems upgraded again. She couldn't shake the feeling that humanity wasn't alone in the solar system. "Begin Phase 3, she ordered. "Let's see how well these ships can fight." The Ghost Fleet began their combat trials, but with a twist. Instead of fighting each other, they worked together against simulated threats. The AI battle coordination systems allowed them to act as one giant organism, each ship moving in perfect harmony with the others. "Look at this," Kriva said, pointing to her display. "They're using their phase technology in ways we never considered. They can partially phase back into normal space just long enough to fire, then disappear again." Zixtal nodded. "Add it to the report. The humans continue to surprise us with their innovative approaches to space warfare." The combat trials lasted for hours. The Ghost Fleet demonstrated maneuvers that should have been impossible, their AI systems calculating paths through four-dimensional spacetime that no human mind could comprehend. Sandra watched with satisfaction as her fleet performed beyond all expectations. "Send word to Earth Command," she told John. "The Ghost Fleet is officially operational." But John had more news. "Admiral, we're receiving reports from the outer colonies. They're detecting unusual gravitational disturbances, different from what we saw earlier." Sandra straightened in her chair. "Position the fleet for possible contact scenarios. Remember your training. We're diplomats first, warriors second." In their observation post, Zixtal's team was abuzz with activity. "Those aren't our emissions," Kriva reported. "Something else is out there." "Well," Zixtal said, his antenna twitching with anticipation, "it seems we might not be the only ones watching humanity's progress. This should be interesting." The Ghost Fleet moved into defensive positions around the colonies, their stealth systems making them invisible guardians in the night. Sandra Hayes stood on her bridge, watching the stars, ready for whatever came next. "All ships, maintain position," she ordered. "Whatever's out there, we'll face it together." The Galactic Council observers watched as humanity prepared for their first potential contact with alien life. The Ghost Fleet, humanity's most advanced achievement, stood ready, not just to fight, but to protect, to explore, and if possible, to make peace. "Add a final note to today's report," Zixtal said. "The humans have surpassed our expectations yet again. They've built not just a fleet of warships, but a force for peace and stability in their solar system. Perhaps it's time to discuss moving up our timeline for official contact." As the Earth's Ghost Fleet settled into their defensive positions, humanity stood on the brink of a new era. They had no way of knowing that they were being watched not just by one alien civilization, but possibly by others as well. The stage was set for humanity's next great leap forward. Admiral Sandra Hayes and her ghost fleet would be ready when it came. The mysterious gravitational disturbances that Admiral Hayes' ghost fleet had detected were not natural. High Observer Zixtol knew this better than anyone. They belonged to the Drachnid Empire, one of the most aggressive species in the galaxy. They weren't supposed to reach this sector for another 50 years, Kriva said, her antenna dark with worry. The humans aren't ready for this. Fleet Commander Peter Russell stood on the bridge of the Nightshade, Earth's newest flagship. At his side, Chief Engineer Mary Thompson worked frantically at her console, analyzing the strange readings coming from the edge of the solar system. Whatever they are, they're big, Mary reported, her fingers flying over the controls. At least 30 ships, each one larger than anything we've ever built. Peter's face remained calm, but his mind raced. The Ghost Fleet's stealth systems were still active, giving them the element of surprise. Send word to all colonies, he ordered. Initiate silent protocol. No transmissions, no engine signatures. In their observation post, Zixtol watched the humans prepare for their first real alien contact. They're being surprisingly cautious, he noted. Most species would be broadcasting welcome messages by now. The Drachnid ships entered the solar system like a swarm of angry wasps. Their vessels were dark, angular, and covered in what looked like biological armor. They moved with obvious military precision. Multiple ships dropping out of faster-than-light travel, Mary announced. They're heading straight for the colonies. Peter straightened his uniform. All Ghost Fleet vessels, prepare for combat pattern Omega. Remember your training. We are humanity's first line of defense. The Galactic Council observation team watched in tense silence. The Drachnids were known for their brutality. They didn't make contact. They conquered. We should warn them, Kriva whispered. Zixtol shook his head. We cannot interfere. This is their test. Either they survive this, or they don't. The Drachnid fleet moved past Pluto, their sensors sweeping the solar system. They expected to find a primitive civilization, easy prey for their empire. Instead, they found nothing. The Ghost Fleet's stealth technology, combined with the colony's silent protocol, made it seem like the solar system was empty. They're confused, Mary said, watching the alien ship's search patterns. They expected to find us easily. Peter allowed himself a small smile. Maintain position. Let them come closer. The Drachnid ships split into smaller groups, spreading out to search the system. They passed right through the Ghost Fleet's formation, their sensors unable to detect the phase-shifted human vessels. All ships, Peter's voice was steady. Prepare quantum entanglement weapons. Target their engine systems only. We want to disable, not destroy. In their post, Zixtol's antenna twitched with surprise. Even now, facing an unknown alien threat, they show restraint. Remarkable. The Drachnids moved closer to Mars, the largest human colony outside Earth. Their weapons powered up, ready to attack what they thought was an empty planet. Now, Peter commanded. The Ghost Fleet appeared as if by magic, surrounding the alien ships. Quantum entanglement beams struck out, targeting the Drachnid's engines with surgical precision. The alien ships, caught completely by surprise, tried to react, but their weapons passed harmlessly through the phase-shifted human vessels. Direct hits on all targets, Mary reported. Their engine systems are shutting down. The Drachnid ships, suddenly powerless, drifted in space. Their biological armor pulsed with angry red light, but they could do nothing. Peter opened a communication channel. This is Fleet Commander Peter Russell of the Earth Defense Force. Your ships have been disabled. We mean you no harm, but we will defend our home. The Galactic Council observers watched in amazement as the humans systematically disabled the entire Drachnid fleet without destroying a single ship. They developed better weapons than the Drachnids, Kriva noted, but chose to use them with restraint. Yes, Zixtol agreed. They're showing wisdom beyond their years. The Drachnid commander finally responded, his harsh voice translated by Earth's AI systems. You dare to attack the Drachnid Empire? We will return with 1,000 ships. Peter's response was calm but firm. You entered our space unannounced and with hostile intent. We disabled your ships without causing casualties. Think carefully about what that means. Mary looked up from her console. Sir, I've analyzed their technology. Their weapons are powerful, but their defensive systems are biological. They never considered defending against quantum attacks because they rely on organic technology. A weakness we exploited without bloodshed. Peter nodded. Send this tactical data to Earth Command. They'll want to prepare for possible reinforcements. The Drachnid ships floated helplessly as human engineering teams began boarding operations. The alien crews, expecting to be executed, were surprised to find themselves treated with respect. We're not barbarians, Peter told his crew. Show them that humanity can be both strong and merciful. In their observation post, Zixtol was hurriedly updating his reports to the Galactic Council. The humans have exceeded all expectations. They not only defeated a superior force, but did so without loss of life on either side. Their technology, tactics, and ethics are all advancing in harmony. The Council won't be happy, Kriva said. The humans weren't supposed to encounter the Drachnids for another half-century. This changes everything. Yes, Zixtol agreed, but perhaps for the better. They've proven themselves ready for the greater galaxy far sooner than we anticipated. As Earth ships began towing the disabled Drachnid vessels to secure locations, Peter Russell stood at his viewport, watching the operation. Send word to all colonies, he ordered. The immediate threat is contained, but we need to prepare. The galaxy just got a lot smaller, and we need to be ready. Mary joined him at the window. Sir, what do you think this means for humanity? Peter watched as the massive alien ships were carefully moved by his fleet. It means we're not alone anymore, Mary, and we just proved we can handle that reality. In their hidden post, Zixtol made his final note of the day. Recommend immediate review of first contact protocols. The humans have demonstrated not only the ability to defend themselves, but the wisdom to do so without unnecessary violence. They may be ready for official contact sooner than anyone expected. The Drachnid incident would change humanity forever. They had faced their first true alien threat and emerged victorious, not through superior firepower, but through innovation, strategy, and restraint. Little did they know, they had also just passed the most important test the Galactic Council had never intended to give them. The age of human isolation was coming to an end, and the galaxy would never be the same. The Galactic Council chamber buzzed with activity. For the first time in 10,000 years, all 500 members had gathered for an emergency session. High Observer Zixtol stood at the speaking platform, his antenna glowing with excitement as he presented his final report on humanity. The humans have achieved in decades what takes most species centuries, he told the assembled council. And now, they face the greatest challenge in their history. On Earth, Admiral Catherine Wright watched as the massive Drachnid reinforcement fleet appeared at the edge of the solar system. 1,000 ships, just as they had promised. But humanity was ready. All defense systems online, reported Diplomatic Corps leader Daniel Carter from his station. The colonies are secured, and the Ghost Fleet is in position. Catherine nodded, her silver hair reflecting the light from the tactical displays. Send the message we prepared. Let's try to avoid unnecessary conflict. The message was simple. This is Admiral Catherine Wright of the Earth Defense Force. Your previous fleet entered our space with hostile intent. We disabled them without casualties and treated your people with respect. We offer you the same choice now. Peace or temporary defeat. Choose wisely. In the council chamber, Zixtol played recordings of the scene. Notice their confidence, he said. They know they can win, yet they still offer peace first. The Drachnid response came quickly. We do not negotiate with primitive species. Prepare to be conquered. Catherine sighed. They never learn, do they? All ships, execute Operation Starburst. What happened next amazed even the Galactic Council. The Ghost Fleet, now numbering 100 ships, emerged from phase space in perfect formation. But they weren't alone. Behind them, quantum gates opened, revealing humanity's latest achievement, biomechanical hybrid ships. By the stars, Kriva whispered in the council chamber. They've combined their technology with the captured Drachnid biological systems. The new hybrid ships moved with impossible grace. They had the best of both worlds, human quantum technology and Drachnid biological adaptability. The Drachnid fleet, seeing their own technology used in ways they never imagined, hesitated. Final warning, Catherine broadcast. We don't want to fight, but we will defend our home. The Drachnid commander responded with weapon fire. The battle had begun. Execute defense pattern Delta, Catherine ordered. Show them what humanity can do. The Ghost Fleet and hybrid ships moved as one, their AI battle systems coordinating through quantum entanglement. The Drachnid weapons, powerful as they were, couldn't hit ships that existed partially out of normal spacetime. Daniel Carter watched the tactical display with pride. The diplomatic package is ready to transmit as soon as they're willing to talk. In the council chamber, the alien representatives watched in awe. They prepared peace terms even while preparing for war, one member noted. The battle unfolded like a dance. Human ships phased in and out of normal space, their quantum weapons disabling Drachnid ships with surgical precision. The hybrid ships used their biological components to adapt to every Drachnid tactic, learning and evolving during the battle itself. Enemy fleet efficiency down to 60%, reported Catherine's tactical officer. No casualties on either side. The Drachnid commander, watching his mighty fleet being systematically disabled, finally understood. These humans weren't just fighting. They were teaching a lesson. The Drachnid signal came through clearly. We wish to discuss terms. Catherine smiled. Open diplomatic channels. Daniel, you're up. As Daniel began peace negotiations, Zixtal concluded his presentation to the council. Humanity has proven themselves ready. They've developed technology we never imagined, yet they use it with wisdom. They've faced aggression with restraint and victory with mercy. The council chamber erupted in discussion. Some members argued that humans were advancing too quickly. Others saw an opportunity. I propose, Zixtal continued, that we offer humanity a special status in the Galactic Council. Not as members yet, but as protected innovators. Let them continue to grow, to create, to show us new possibilities. The vote was unprecedented. Unanimous approval. For the first time in Council history, a species would be given protected status before achieving full faster-than-light travel. Back in the solar system, the Drachnid fleet was under escort to a neutral zone. Daniel Carter had negotiated a peace treaty that would ensure the Drachnids never threatened Earth again. Admiral, a sensor operator called out. We're detecting unusual energy signatures, different from the Drachnids. They're everywhere. Catherine watched as hundreds of ships appeared around the solar system. Ships that made both human and Drachnid vessels look primitive. This is High Observer Zixtal of the Galactic Council. A new voice transmitted on all frequencies. Humanity, you have exceeded all expectations. We would like to talk. In the following hours, humanity learned they had never been alone. The Galactic Council revealed themselves, explained their role as observers, and offered Earth their unprecedented status. We've been watching. Zixtal told Catherine and Daniel in a private meeting. You've shown us that advancement doesn't have to come at the cost of wisdom. Your ghost fleet could have destroyed the Drachnids, but you chose a better way. Catherine looked out at the amazing alien ships now visible around Earth. All this time, you were testing us. Not testing, Zixtal corrected. Learning from you. Your species has shown us new ways of thinking, new approaches to old problems. The quantum phase technology alone has revolutionized our understanding of space travel. Daniel smiled. And now? Now Zixtal's antenna glowed warmly. You help us build a better galaxy. Your creativity, your innovation, your balance of strength and mercy. These are qualities the galaxy needs. The human ships, from the advanced Ghost Fleet to the hybrid vessels, took up formation alongside the Council ships. It was a new era for humanity, one they had earned not just through technological advancement, but through wisdom. In her final log entry of the day, Admiral Catherine Wright wrote, "Today, humanity learned we're part of something bigger. We proved ourselves not by being the strongest or the most advanced, but by being the most human. Our space warfare capabilities brought us to this point, but our humanity, our ability to show restraint, mercy, and wisdom, that's what truly made us ready for the stars." As Earth celebrated first contact and her new status in the galaxy, Zixtal stood on his observation post one last time. "End observation mission," he commanded. "Begin cooperation mission." The age of human isolation was over. The age of human innovation was just beginning, and the galaxy would never be the same.